I'm a meat popsicle, and this is the Science Fiction Rating System, Episode 12, the podcast that aims to rate every science fiction film from 1 to infinity. I, as ever, am Sam Draper, and I'm joined by Chris Redding.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And Alex Humphrey.
Hi.
How are you two this evening?
Excellent.
Not bad.
How do you find Bruce Willis' week?
Oh, gripping.
I loved it.
You loved it?
I love a bit
before
of
we go any
Bruce,
further,
Yeah.
Before we go any further, we've got reader mail. So let's start with that. This comes in from Terry Clubley, who doesn't say where he's from. And he says, "Great news, team. Thank you for choosing Brucey as the star of your next triple serving. In response to your request for suggestions, as a lifelong fan, any 3 films will be welcomed, with perhaps the exception of Vice, which I have yet to see in full, and from what I have seen, have no desire to. Have either of you two seen Vice?
No.
I looked it up. It's got a 4% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So we'll have to do that at some point. Anyway, and then he continues, if I had to choose just 3, I would choose Armageddon, The Fifth Element, and Surrogates. So good news, that's exactly what we chose.
Bang on. Nice one, Terry.
I'd also recommend Looper, though no doubt this would be dismissed by Chris, at least because of the major time travel element.
He knows you so well.
Looper, actually.
Or likewise, 12 Monkeys would probably get a roasting too.
Yeah.
That's another week. Time travel week.
Yeah.
Everyone says that to me. That one should be up there.
Whatever you dish up, though, I'll be interested in your often diverse opinions. I also hope you'll be wearing your white vests during recording, out of respect for the great man.
Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay. Oh, I did that before.
Keep up the great show. Thanks again, Terry. And he also says, P.S. I also share Sam's regret at Hudson Hawk not being allowed.
Yeah.
I think we should just do the Hudson Hawk
a good film.
rating system. So there we go. Thanks, Terry, for getting in touch. If you want to get on air like Terry, mail at sciencefictionratingsystem.com. Doesn't actually work at the minute. So sciencefictionratingsystem@gmail.com. Do that instead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or Twitter, SF Rating System.
We could be getting loads of mail.
Yeah. Just all bouncing back.
Damn.
But yeah, so cool. So everyone loves Bruce Willis. So this week we've got Surrogates, Armageddon, and Fifth Element.
Yeah.
So let's
Diversity from Bruce's back catalogue.
Yeah. A man of many faces, all of them very similar.
Well, I hadn't seen Surrogates, so I'd seen the other 2.
Yeah, nor me, like you, I'd only seen those 2. So let's begin with Surrogates. New to 2 of us. Alex, you've seen it before, is that right?
Yeah. I saw it at the cinema and I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Okay, so do you want to start?
Have you prepared a synopsis?
No, we did that last time. I've done that.
Right,
okay. I saw it at the cinema and really, really liked it. I thought, and watching it again, I remembered what I liked about it, which was I just thought the idea was just a really solid science fiction idea.
No, it's not.
And I guess... Oh, have I gone?
No, you're
still there.
Oh, good.
Still there, you're just talking rubbish.
Paranoid. Yeah. No, I like the idea.
Is there something gone wrong? You're just talking rubbish.
Yeah, you're just disagreeing with me. No, I like the idea a lot. I like the idea a lot, and I think they do it really, really well. And I like that there's, it's got just a solid kind of crime story going on, conspiracy, government, all that stuff. And the twists and turns, I think, are good enough. It's not brilliantly directed, it's not badly directed, but I just think it's a good little idea, and it's a realistic idea, and I think it kind of makes you think, and that's what I like about it. You obviously disagree, Chris.
Chris, you obviously disagree.
There's realism and realistic, like a realistic world that they've made. It's totally unbelievable. It's rubbish.
Why? Why don't you think that's realistic?
Well, if everyone's got what did you say? 98% of the world has a surrogate, right?
Yeah.
Now, clearly, from like the helicopter shots in it and just the world, it's pretty much the same world as far as economics go. So there are poor people and there are rich people. So how do poor people or even homeless people have a surrogate? They don't. Everyone seems to have a pretty, standard surrogate.
Well, they got rid of them, the meat bags.
Yeah, but that's 2% of the population.
Okay.
It doesn't explain how the economy would support that, does it?
No,
like,
it doesn't. It doesn't. There's no realism at all to it at all. There was a bit where a woman's got a really shitty one. She says hers is in for repair.
Yeah.
98% of the world has them. Why? What's this shitty one about? Everyone's got the same quality of one. Why?
Well, it's like when you put your car in, you don't get the same car back. You just get like a.
We should have seen other. We never do it. What I'm saying is, we didn't see any other like levels of economic diversity in like the mall or on the street. Everyone,
right?
Because it's all been played by humans with a bit of slap on. But
aren't all the normal humans with the profit in the kind of compound? That's what you go if you were homeless.
I assumed they were the dregs. Yeah, they were the ones who couldn't afford to opt in.
Yeah.
What do you think of the story? Aside from that,
the story is okay. The story's all right. The soldier bit doesn't make any sense either. The soldiers.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make an effective soldier, you would not make a robotic man and put clothes on him, give him a gun. And,
I see that.
A bit.
When the surrogate wants to communicate with another surrogate, he picks up a telephone. But there's also some advanced transmission technology, because obviously the human information has to be transmitted to the surrogate anyway. So they must have some sort of. But the surrogate picks up a telephone to communicate with other people. Wouldn't you build that in?
So it offended your science background, as it were. It offended your science mind.
It doesn't make any sense as a proper world. I know they've got to draw a line somewhere because they're going to have to make a film, but it's just rubbish.
Okay, strong words. I didn't really enjoy it either. I like this. I like the premise, and I like the start, and I liked the idea of the detective story and trying to work out, what was going on, why they were dying. But it kind of very quickly unravelled for me. Kind of as soon as Bruce Willis gets knocked out of his thing, and they start, find out that they're dying, and it gets a bit silly. Like, I didn't really buy the twists. I didn't like many of the cast. I didn't think the acting was particularly good. I just didn't. It just seemed to just really get out of control and unravel very quickly.
There's some memorable bits to it, like when they're all dancing and they're kind of all dancing robotically. Do you know what I mean? And
I thought the last shot was really good. The final shot of them all falling down was a really powerful image, and I think there is definitely a good story to tell there. I just think that they kind of. I don't know. It looked really cheap, didn't it? I thought, and I think they'd have done.
I don't think it looked too bad. It's really
because
cheap.
the people look like obviously really manicured Hollywood people with white teeth because they're robots, and then as soon as they die, they've obviously just swapped it out with a mannequin.
A mannequin, yeah.
And it's such an obvious massive difference compared to Ghost in the Shell, or I'm talking about the live action one and how they covered that sort of stuff. It's like
It felt a bit TV movie for me, really. It felt a bit sort of just
Bruce Willis's hair looked a bit TV movie.
Yeah, I
love that though. I love how crap he looks.
But I thought that was kind of funny at first, that's the idealised Bruce Willis. But then it didn't seem that was actually the case, did it? It didn't seem as though it seemed like they really thought, no, that's just a really idealised version of Bruce Willis. I don't think they didn't play into that kind of thing enough. That everyone looks a bit silly and ridiculous. There were too many just just plainly beautiful people around.
Yeah.
Rather than this sort of idealised beautiful sort of look, which is what they're going for with Bruce. I thought.
I just don't understand, because if there is a true economy, the rich people would have a far more advanced body. It would be, how the guy jumps off the balcony in the disco, and can dance.
Yeah.
They'd be able to do superhuman stuff. They wouldn't need cars. They wouldn't need planes. They'd fly.
I think the thing. A lot of sci-fi does this, where people obviously start augmenting themselves with other stuff as soon as they've gone past a human body. They've got 5 eyes and 6 ears, whatever. And there's none of that. And I can see why in a way, because it works. The detective story works and stuff with this idea that we are all just people, but we're robots. It's got to just stay like that, hasn't it? It's got to stay very base for it to be.
But it's trying to draw a line at some point, don't
but then they kind of
it becomes
betray
a really
that.
exotic world like Ghost in the Shell, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think they betray that kind of like grounded level by the story getting so silly, like with them having him when they kill Bruce Willis's sidekick and become her, and just all gets a bit, I don't know, messy, the conspiracy and stuff. It was all right. I don't know. I don't know.
I liked it. I think it was a good. I think telling just as a logical progression of people that just live online and play like World of Warcraft or whatever, and that's their life. I just thought it was an interesting progression of that concept. That the people living a fake life, like the fact that that sexy woman in the bar was just a big fat guy with his eyes exploded. Like I like that idea.
But the thing is, if they fully mapped like the human brain and the fact that you can be portrayed digitally. Wouldn't it just be in a cyberspace? Why would they do a robot in real life? Because in cyberspace, you could literally do anything and experience anything. It
was the extension, wasn't it? They were saying it's a logical progression of his inventing like artificial limbs and stuff. Yeah.
The credit sequence was good, where they explained like the progression of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened too quickly, I think, but yeah.
It felt like an episode of like The Outer Limits or something rather than a film.
Yeah. Which is still valid. I mean, I quite like that.
It is a good premise, but I don't know, well-worn premise and just not, I don't know, as I say, very like Channel 5 movie to me. It felt, to be honest.
But I just think it's like deeply flawed like premise. Like it's not very believable to start off with. It would have been better, say, if they were all surrogates, but there was like a city or an island where... Yeah, I think it being a planetary, everyone's got a surrogate is deeply unbelievable. Where if it was a holiday camp or a moon base or like a contained,
it's a bit sort of like top of your head idea, rush job 2-paragraph sort of synopsis, isn't it? Like the idea, the whole world's turning to surrogates. So,
but it is based on a graphic novel. Like a comic series, and then they did a prequel to that series. So it's a fleshed out idea in that realm.
But they were going into people's flats, and the flats actually were really nicely decorated, and as if humans lived there. And they just had, but they're not. They're just lying down in the bed, and I don't know. Well, I guess they still experience the flat as through the surrogate.
Yeah, because they've got one room, haven't they? They stay in.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the surrogate's got the rest of the flat. Yeah, I don't know. It was all right. I've not got much more to say, really. Any other points anyone wants to...
I disagree with both of you, but that's okay. I don't mind.
Fair enough.
I like it. I think people should give it a go.
Okay, fair enough. So, Alex, where would you put this in the list?
Well... Hold on. I got my sheet here. I would put it under They Live, above District 9. Whatever number that is.
15.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'd go 23. Below Flash Gordon and above Spaceballs.
Below Flash Gordon is quite a statement.
I really enjoyed Flash Gordon. It was crap, but interesting. Chris, where would you...
I'd put it at 21, because from Inner Space down, that's when things get truly shit.
Truly bad.
So under Edge of Tomorrow?
Yes.
Because I think Edge of Tomorrow is a meh film, and I think this is a meh film.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like 20 or 21, it's much of a muchness for me.
Well, I'm not going to
say
push
above
it.
Edge of Tomorrow, as yours is a lot higher, Alex. Should we push it up to 20?
That would be nice, yes.
Chris, you all right with that? So below Phantom Menace, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I had similar feelings about Edge of Tomorrow and this, actually, because it's just like...
Yeah, it's a similar
premise is poor.
I think the absolute premise is like the very core of it's solid, but just it's just not fleshed out very well, is it at all?
Yeah.
Like the idea of people dying in battle and coming back.
It's not rendered very well, because essentially it's the same world, but everyone's got a surrogate.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be the same world. We wouldn't be fighting wars the same. We wouldn't be having buildings wouldn't look the same. Cars wouldn't be the same, because we're not the same.
I don't know. It made me think. That's what I liked about it. I didn't need more fleshing out because I kind of did the thinking. But I get what you're saying. It's not. When I read about it, pretty much everyone said what you guys are saying, which is that it's a good idea, but just not well enough done.
I think it was that war bit. It really got to me. It's just
the war bit was. You get the.
I mean,
yeah,
they said they're on a peacekeeping mission. Are they on a peacekeeping mission to Africa where there's like people starving? Have they got surrogates? And they're the 2% in the world, even though they're actually like the 30% in the world.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I think we've all got different. Like you think,
don't need
Alex,
to fight with these tin men. You just turn off their satellite, which is controlling the. You know, it's ridiculous.
Chris, you didn't like the world. Alex, it made you think, and I didn't like the story. So we've all got different things that we.
Yeah, I tell you what though, Bruce Willis, pretty good. I bought it.
He was all right in this. Yeah, he was all right in this. Yeah,
and this is why we're doing it for Bruce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he did, especially once he's out of the surrogate suit. I think he played the sort of, angry, confused Bruce Willis really well.
And the stuff about his daughter, about his son dying, I think that story is quite well handled.
God.
Come on, he does it quite well. Okay, all right, okay. I give up. I give up on this film. I give up.
Okay, let's have a quick break and come back and talk about Armageddon. Back with Armageddon from 1998. Yes. Directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I saw this at the cinema, but I went into the wrong cinema when I saw this when it came out. So I was with my friend Jason. We had a lot of popcorn. Loads of stuff.
Did you see this with Jason?
Yeah, we went into the screen showing Armageddon.
My invite must have been lost.
We were thinking, this is really full up. Like, it was completely full. And the only spare seats were right down the front of the cinema. So we walked down through the whole thing, clanging and banging. Everyone looking at us, thinking, "Wait, what's going on?" We sat down and realised that we were right at the end of the film. As Bruce Willis is being left on the asteroid. We're in the wrong screen. We'd gone into a different screen that was showing Armageddon in an earlier showing. So I had to get back up again, all this popcorn stuff. As everyone looked at us really annoyed as we walked back out again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's my overriding memory of that film. But at the time, I remember thinking, it's not great, but I kind of enjoyed it. This time, I'll just read my first note here. Cliche-ridden, ridiculous plot and mawkish melodrama. The worst film on this list. Not only poorly written, directed by a child with ADHD and acted by a lot of good actors who couldn't give a fuck. It is also interminably boring.
Wow,
I have not seen a film as poor as this, because Universal Soldier's got the excuse that it's like it's a cheap, rubbishy film.
Yeah.
This is a massive, massive film that is so dull, so poorly directed, just like so overlong. 2.5 hours of which an hour and a half of that nothing happens.
Yeah, it's so long, isn't it?
It's so long. A brilliant cast who are all just phoning it in. Bruce Willis in this is terrible. Absolutely awful in this. The only person I'd give credit to was Billy Bob Thornton, who I thought was doing
he is
doing quite well with that.
He is.
But everything else, absolutely terrible. It made me retroactively appreciate Independence Day a lot more, because that is not anywhere near as bad as this absolute train wreck.
It's not.
Your little review, Roger Ebert's review, was the movie is an assault on the eyes, the ears, the brain, common sense, and the human desire to be entertained.
Brilliant, yeah.
And then
that's fantastic.
Todd McCarthy of Variety said the problem is to do with the problems come from directly from base cutting style, which resembles a machine gun stuck in the firing position for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah,
the camera can't stay still. It's always rotating or switching from one scene to another.
Yeah.
The passage of time is ridiculous. But anyway, sorry, go on, Alex. Sorry.
It's funny you said you walked in at the end, because those 12 minutes at the start feel like the end of another film.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So much happens in those 12 minutes. Like, you're just like, there's a weird, the kind of gravity bit that they, gravity ripped off, where they all get blown up.
Yeah.
Then like, oh my God, something's happening, we're being attacked. Then cut to that guy in New York, and his dog, Eddie Griffin and his dog, like, hey man, all that stuff. And then they explode, and then New York explodes, and then the scientists are like, shit, stuff's happening. And that's like 12 minutes. And then they say, that's it. They say, we've got 18 days till the Earth's destroyed. And that's 12 minutes of the film. It's insane. It's just insane.
Yeah, but there were like pre-asteroids. You get that?
No, but I just mean so much happens in that 12 minutes. It just is...
And then nothing happens for an hour and a half.
Well, yeah.
Because it's all about the planning and the training, isn't it? That's where the comedy comes in, is the training. Well, I say comedy. But
comedy, come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but I mean...
this up. I mean, I don't...
What did you enjoy it, Alex?
No, well, no. The thing with the film was...
Sounds like you did.
Well, no, this is the thing. I don't know whether it was the worst film ever and just an offensive and terrible, and, you know, it worries me that some people watch that and go, yeah, America, like that. It worries me.
Well, that's what they do. They do.
Well, yeah, but it was very funny, and it is almost like a parody of itself. Like, so I can't really work out if
intentionally funny though, or
no, I don't know. Are they all, like you said with Flash Gordon, are they all aware of how bad it is?
No, not at all. Chris, what's your opinion on Armageddon?
Okay, so I went into this and I actually used to like this film.
Yeah.
Used.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it and it's really bad.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you know. Yeah.
Like, every single shot is really annoying because it's like it's a track going into it's a track or a dolly going into a flare on every shot.
Yeah.
So it's really
even two men talking in a boring room, the camera's really, like whizzing round them.
It's super irritating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just looking. I mean, the reason we were trying to find a quote from this film to start this episode. It's like any other Michael Bay film. It's just all sass talk. It's just all garbage sass talk. You know, smart mouth crap. There's nothing actually intelligently funny about anything going on. It's like The Hangover kind of bollocks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The science is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I heard that they use this in NASA. If you join NASA, there's like 250, problems with it in science.
Yeah.
And they use that as a test.
Okay.
Like, I mean, the ones I found were the ships fly like aerodynamically, so that it tries to, it takes off like a plane from the asteroid. There's no atmosphere.
Yeah.
The suits keep them on the ground because there's less G. Right, on the asteroid, because it's a lot smaller than the Earth, right? Mm-hmm. So the suits have the thrusters on, apparently. That's what's explained.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to stop them walking around when they're on the ship and they haven't got the suits on.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on. Like, there's hundreds of issues with it.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's quite an interesting exercise doing it. So it's entertaining in that sense, like going through all of this.
I really love at the very start when he says this asteroid is going to hit Earth with the impact of 10,000 nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And, like, what does that even mean? 10,000 nuclear weapons? Like, that's not...
Well, it probably actually is, in reality, that's probably about right.
But it's I don't think so. Like, where they pulled that from? Like, the idea of this... Like,
well, I mean, you could work that out. I mean, if you put in megatons and the kinetic force involved, it probably would be
a lot more, wouldn't it?
You'd be able to work that out.
But I think it'd be a lot more.
Well, I don't know. The biggest nuclear weapon is what, 50 megatons.
Anyway,
it's pretty serious.
It's more the idea though that like he just looks at it and goes, "Yeah, that's 10,000 nukes coming."
Yeah, I mean they just wanted to get over it. It's bad.
Yeah, a stupid
big number.
Yeah.
Did you?
Also, another big problem with it was the tiny little shots of Hong Kong. Where they get wiped out. But before that, when they go, oh, there's one coming into China, shall we warn them? And doesn't he say something like, oh, we can't warn everybody? Or something like that. So they don't tell them, and they cut to the scenes of them all waiting around, and they're just blown up. Like, probably
apparently
should have told them.
There's different cuts, like, depending on the region that was released.
Oh, wow.
Now, we've only seen the one where Paris gets hit.
Yeah.
Because that was what was released in the UK.
Yeah.
There's different regional versions of this film. Yeah.
Wow. That's a bit
it was
odd.
one of the first films to do that.
What's that?
I'm just reading here, like, because they say it's the size of Texas, the asteroid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, when he says it'll hit, it'll vaporize like a load of people, and then half of the other people will just die because of nuclear winter.
Yes, yeah.
According to this, if it was the size of Texas, it would sterilize the entire planet in 30 seconds.
I like how they show the asteroid in like a seriously sinister blue light as well.
Oh, I mean, actually, the characterization of the asteroid and how that's made is actually not bad at all.
What? Really?
Oh, really?
It's sinister. I mean, it's done quite well.
But hilariously sinister. He's just a big ball of rock, isn't it? Like,
I mean, there's fires breaking out all over the place. There's no oxygen. Even though they're drilling to 800 feet, no earth is coming out the top of the... No, nothing's being spewed out of the drill. They're not actually pulling any earth out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just weird.
It's just awful on every level.
Did you guys did you spot Michael Bay's cameo in this?
He's one of the scientists, isn't he? He rolls his chair back across the floor. Yeah,
in the very beginning, where there's all the nerd core scientists with their specs, is the one with the perfect hair who like pulls a face.
Yes, yeah.
It's funny if you look at the picture
because he's flying around.
Is there
in the spaceship?
Oh, I thought you were saying on the recording. I was like, what? How? Oh, it's not like it's like The Fly, is it? Is they didn't merge it with someone?
In that place where Michael Bay is, when the military come in to take over, and they go, the guy goes, okay, the military's got to come, and then the lifts are just packed with people. And I love the idea, like, were they just waiting in that lift for ages, all just packed like that, so they can just open.
He will go slow-mo in that, and a guy slides his chair back, and he slides back in slow-mo, and it looks really ridiculous, because he's like sliding back, and it just looks so stupid. But yeah.
It's ridiculous, because he gets like free use of the US military, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. No, that's the set's pretty good and all that stuff.
In the cinemas. Well, it's always like it's like a massive sell for join the military, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He oversells like what their capabilities are always. I just feel sorry for the poor guys who watch it and go, yeah, we can go and do this, we can go and then just crap.
But it's odd because the script, although terrible, it's kind of simultaneously like you say, it is recruiting, but they're really like snarky and nasty about NASA all the way through.
Yeah.
That's the theme of the film. It's the blue collar snarking on the intelligentsia, and that's the theme of the film, because NASA actually could do this without Bruce Willis, but they had to make a story where they needed the drillers.
But then it's hard to see it as recruitment because you're like against.
Well, the
NASA
recruitment is all the stuff, is all the facility to do it. That's what the stuff is.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think in general the military and what they're actually promoting to is the blue collar side of things.
Yeah,
it's got a real problem with the passage of time as well. Like because of all the fast edits and stuff like that, and you don't really like they go for training, and there's about like a few seconds of training, and it's like they've had 10 days in there, they're too tired now, they need a break, and you just
I don't know what a few push-ups is going to do for that fat guy in like a week. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Did it cost like 10 million to put like a quarter pounder into space or something? Like, they've built these new space shuttles at vast expense. It's literally will be the end of the world if anything goes wrong. They're untested, they're unlaunched, and they decide to launch 2 of them right next to each other.
What are you saying, Alex? What do you really hate?
No, I really hate the president. I think he's awful. But he's also the president in The Rock, which means it's the same universe.
Pretty good speech.
Oh, yeah, the same universe. That's incredible.
Yeah. So
I want to see the film Armageddon versus The Rock. Yeah. That'd be brilliant.
Rockmageddon, I've written here, right next to his name.
It should be Con Air in space.
Yeah.
He's awful, that president.
I wonder if Con Air's in the same universe as well.
I don't know. You have to see if that guy's the president in the film.
It couldn't be, could it? Because we'd have 2 Nicolas Cages.
Oh.
Because because he's in a rock, isn't he? So he couldn't work.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work.
Damn it!
Well, yeah. So
that's the only problem with this universe.
Yeah. The music's terrible as well.
No, the music's really good.
No, it's not. It's awful.
The Russian guy, Lev, he's brilliant.
Peter Stormare.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's some brilliant actors in this, and he's just wasted again. They're all just wasted in it, and all.
He's brilliant.
It's so bad.
Yeah, where they spin the space station and that just makes gravity. That's brilliant as well. When I say brilliant, I mean totally wrong.
Yeah, I think it's worrying. Like also what he did for like obviously there's so many films like that. I mean the whole career of what's his name, Roland Emmerich and Michael Bay is basically these films, isn't it, over and over again?
Yeah.
And they're all just so brain dead and terrible.
Yeah.
But I think I can't remember seeing a blockbuster like this as bad as Armageddon.
No.
Well, I think Deep Impact was similar time, and that's worse.
Yeah. Well, no, but did you read it? Basically, the guy that wrote Deep Impact said, where is it? According to Bruce Joel Rubin, writer of Deep Impact, a production president at Disney took notes on everything the writer said during lunch about his script and initiated Armageddon as a counter film at Disney. 9 writers worked on the script, 5 of whom are credited for Armageddon. So there are another 4 writers for this. Yeah,
but they
also
got a bigger punch with the cast, didn't they?
Yeah, and they also pumped a load once. I think it came out after Deep Impact, and then they put a load more money in to make the effects look a bit different and stuff.
Punch it into the sky.
Yeah, just to kind of get it like
and
over. It did better.
Aerosmith involved.
Yeah, I guess.
I remember not hating Deep Impact, but I've got a feeling it probably is terrible as well, isn't it? But I remember not thinking
it just doesn't have like
this.
any of the drama. Like, not this has got drama, but it hasn't. It's like a little bit like pedestrian in how it moves. That one.
Yeah. Did you look up the Ben Affleck DVD commentary?
No, I'll watch that though.
Oh. I do want to see it.
Just slating the whole thing.
I'll just read one quote. He said, I asked Michael why it is easier to train oil drillers to become astronauts than it was to train astronauts to become oil drillers, and he told them to shut the fuck up. So that was the end of that talk.
Wow.
You can watch the clips on YouTube. Definitely. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, he hates it too. So pretty much everyone hates it.
I wonder if they had any petrochemical money to make this film. Do you know what I mean?
Probably. The big oil lobby.
Like you say, everyone's money, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, talk about just like spurging a load of money, just getting every fucking name you can get, and just like going to town on a load of garbage.
Yep.
Yes.
Terrible. So let's rate it. Chris, where do you want to put it?
It's somewhere between. I would put it again. I'm looking at that inner space for area because that is really for me where things get pretty bad. I would put it at number 25.
So above Safe Not Guaranteed, below Spaceballs.
Yes.
I'd put it at 29, dead bottom.
Wow.
Absolutely
it's
awful.
Not worse than Scanner Darkly.
It's much worse than Scanner Darkly.
And also, did it make me as... And I would say...
No.
Above Universal
because,
Soldier.
There's still like a couple of nice little performances. You got Steve Buscemi, you've got all this stuff going on.
But they're all awful in it. Where did you say, Alex?
I said above Universal Soldier, below Safety Not Guaranteed, because it didn't make me as angry as Prometheus or Scanner Darkly.
Yeah.
They made me angry. This was just dumb and stupid, but it was funny. I laughed at it. It was funny. So yeah.
I think Universal Soldier was funnier because that was like bad.
It can go below Universal Soldier. I would like that. That'd be funny.
I had more fun with Universal Soldier than I did with Armageddon.
You know what? There's been this week since the new Aliens come out. There's been a complete people. I think it's because the new one's so bad.
Yeah.
And people have been saying actually, there's things in Prometheus which were quite bold and quite nice to look at. And even though the story was cack, there was some interesting things which I kind of understand.
Have you,
I'm not going to say that.
Have you seen the new Alien, Alex?
No, I haven't.
Chris, do you think it's better or worse than Prometheus, the new Covenant?
I think it's worse, the new one.
Oh, right. I thought it was better than Prometheus.
Because I think there's some real memorable bits in Prometheus, and there aren't in this. I mean, there are some good bits in it. It's difficult because the performances are so much better in the new one, but the story is pretty much the same, and
totally.
It's more rubbish. But I think there's some like the memorable moments in Prometheus. You know, where like David and the orrery. You know, that big
the autopsy.
Yeah, there are some
the autopsy.
There are some funny like quite memorable moments in Prometheus which aren't in the new one.
Yeah, for me,
so
I just think
saying
the first half hour of Covenant for me was a lot better than Prometheus. Like I was kind of all right with it. I think you're right. The actors are all a lot more likable.
It's like they've all gone American, so they kind of just sink it. It like just sits nicely.
Yeah.
Prometheus was a bit of a zoo as far as voices and accents. Yeah. So I was going, "What the fuck is this?" Like
But I agree, the story's worse, and the things they do, the retcons they do to Alien, are as I suggested the week before, absolutely awful. But no, it was. I'm glad I saw it, but it was awful. Yeah.
So is Armageddon worse than Prometheus then, or better?
No, I think you're right. It should go above Prometheus. So should we say above Prometheus and below Universal Soldier?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah? Because that's funny, putting it below Universal Soldier. 1990s.
I don't know, I think Prometheus over the test of time, like a bit more time, I think it might...
Yeah. I think it'll only get worse because if he makes this third
the problem
film,
is if he keeps on making more and more bad films,
he wants to make
Prometheus better. That's the thing.
No, I think I'll make it worse.
Actually makes the original Alien worse.
Yeah, no, I think it'll make Prometheus even worse because the next one's going to be set between Prometheus and Covenant, isn't it?
Yeah,
which will just make that even.
It needs to be stopped.
Yeah, well, hasn't done very well, has it? Covenant, it's not opened very strongly, so maybe they'll change their mind about that.
Stop him.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Armageddon in at number 27. Got one more film left, and that is Fifth Element. Back. With our third and final film of the day, another Bruce Willis powerhouse performance. It's Luc Besson's The Fifth Element, a film that I think we all had positive memories of.
Yeah. Apprehensive about rewatching it though. Apprehensive.
So let's start with Chris. You said you've seen it more recently than the two of us.
I've seen it quite a lot over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think of this viewing? Still enjoying it?
Fluent with it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
So what is it about it that you find entertaining?
Good. Yeah. The world's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a very well put together future.
Yeah.
I think it was very iconic things which we see, like the flying cars in the city.
Yeah.
That was like the best we've seen that sort of stuff at the time. It's been tried, it's probably been copied a lot since, but I've not seen it copied better than that, actually.
It held up really well, didn't it, is what I thought, those shots.
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't how old it is.
And it's in that era where there isn't tons of CG, but the story is told and it's edited in a way where you actually look at it and go, okay, I've only actually seen 2 wides of this city with all the flying cars, but I am totally invested in he's driving along in it.
Yeah.
And that was creative and clever and proper use of the format of the technology.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think there's a sweet spot with the CGI in this one, in that it is impressive, but like the first reveal of the city when Mila Jovovich comes out of the tube and she's against that wall, isn't she? So there's no like dodgy sort of like
that was it.
Composting the two things, is there?
See, nowadays it would open with a wide of the city and the epicness, and you wouldn't have that. That effect.
No, not at all. No, because I mean, you must be nearly half an hour into the film before you get that shot.
Oh yeah, you're definitely. I wrote it down or something. It's like 20 minutes. It's definitely 20 minutes. Oh, the 20 minutes before you see Bruce Willis in it. But yeah, so it's past that even.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very reserved with, and it kind of goes from there. It keeps changing, doesn't it? It keeps changing what it looks like and how
There's loads of really cool. It moves from one nice environment to another. Interesting environment to another.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on.
Amazing costumes. The look of it is just beautiful, isn't it? Really, like
yeah.
It's such a unique vision of Jean-Paul Gaultier, isn't it? Does the costume?
Yep.
And it's Mobius, the French comic book artist. You know Mobius. He did a lot of the design for it. He worked in Alien as well. He did a lot of the storyboarding for it.
There's some like iconic, in the sort of prop building world. There's some iconic things in it, like the Zorg ZF-1 gun.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty iconic in the prop building world. A lot of people build them.
Yeah.
That I love that floating cruise ship.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And that scene where she sings, that's pretty iconic as well.
Yeah, it's a brilliant scene. Did you know that on film, Bruce Willis's reaction to her singing is like his actual reactions, because he didn't show him the actions anything before that shot.
Right, okay.
So those shots of him like coming to tears and looking like quite moved by is all his actual reactions.
I've seen someone do it on like Britain's Got Talent or something recently, or America's Got Talent, like a takeoff of that thing.
Oh, weird. So still positive on it, Chris. Definitely still positive.
Yes, I'm just trying to think if there's a negative. I don't think there is.
I've got a negative for you, Chris Rock.
Yeah, I've got a negative.
What's that?
Chris Rock is mine.
No, that's not a negative.
I can't stand him. That character is the only thing about it that just. I know he's meant to be irritating, but
that character's now iconic.
Oh my god, he drives up the wall. He did at the time. He still does. Like, it's just.
I think nowadays there's more real people like that who are more annoying than that.
But it doesn't make it. I good, know them. But it doesn't make it a good thing, though. It's still insufferable.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you want to know an interesting fact about that character?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
It was, I got this off Cracked, the website. It was originally Prince was the first choice for that character.
Yeah.
And he was actually in discussions. He went out and saw Jean-Paul Gaultier and, showing him costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what it said is that Jean-Paul Gaultier was showing in the pictures and he slapped himself on the arse and while explaining that one of the backside would have a faux col, which is the fake arse in French. And Prince thought he said, "Fuck you." And basically got up and just walked out, and then it was a huge falling out, and then he started touring, and it just all basically like just went wrong.
The
and
movie history was changed.
Yeah,
That's
and then
amazing.
They had to recast it. So yeah, but they've said I read it's him and Lenny Kravitz. Like they say is the inspiration, but it would have actually been him.
Right.
If you look at how he looks just.
He's definitely.
He's doing it definitely is, isn't
and
it?
if Prince doing it would have been better, because he wouldn't have been so over the top and doing such an awful impression of Prince like Chris Rock's doing.
He's just a cartoon.
Sorry, it's Chris Tucker, not Chris Rock, isn't it? I've been making a mistake over and again. I've been thinking about it. Yeah,
You're right.
Two Chris's. Anyway, Alex. So, what did you think this time round of the film overall?
I really, really liked it. I was very worried. My two things I didn't like, I hated the stuff about his mum. I hate that joke. I don't think it works.
Yeah, not at all.
And I think that that ending, it feels like the end of a James Bond film when they're just in the thing.
Weak, very weak.
It's a really weak ending, which is sad because it's such a good film. And I wasn't too sold on the music. I think the music felt a bit dated this time round.
I think it's up and down. Like, I like some of the like more Eastern sounding bits, like that kind of like it's not Enigma. That kind of like new agey 90s stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's the stuff I felt was a bit. Yeah,
I thought that was okay. I didn't like when it got the sort of wiki guitar coming in and the awful like sort of hip hop, like tricky sort of. Well, Tricky's in it, isn't it? Actually, Tricky's actually in the film, but that kind of like tricky beat, isn't it? And sort of that nonsense, very like. MOR sort of trip hop, isn't it? Sort of vibe to it. It was very, very dated, definitely.
But but apart from that, I thought it was really, really brilliant. And I just think it's a really good cast. Like, it's a really solid cast. And like Bruce, Armageddon, he's literally sleepwalking through that film. His performance is so awful in Armageddon. It is so awful. But in this, he is really like. It's quite, the love story is reasonably well handled. It's ridiculous, but you just get on board with it. And the fact that it's all so bright and like colourful, I think that's so different to so many other. Like you say, Chris, it's iconic. A lot of the stuff in it was very.
But a lot of the way of doing them type things would have been like very Blade Runner-y, like dark and neons, and they don't do a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's actually quite bright and bold.
And like then as now, getting a film like that made, you know, everything has to be dark and serious, doesn't it? It reminded me a bit of Speed Racer, which I know you love, Alex. Like for that
I do love
sense of like
Racer.
everything's been so over the top and colourful.
Yeah.
But you know, I was expecting to not enjoy this from the trailer, but I still absolutely loved it, and I thought it was.
There's something interesting with the. You know when they're in the airport and there's that massive mountain of
the junk, the rubbish.
Junk.
Yeah.
There's some like trivia really interesting with that. Like that was supposed to be an amazing set.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't finished in time, or it fucked up in some way, so they just covered it in all that junk. They were building something amazing. There's something amazing behind there, but it just never. Something like I'll have to have a look. But
that's good, that bit in there. The multipass, which is. Multi-pass. I think that's Bruce Willis is great, but also Mila Jovovich is just fantastic in it. I read a bit about the language she speaks. That her and Luc Besson basically invented the whole language.
Yeah. Oh god!
And wrote letters to each other and spoke on the phone in this language.
Oh yeah, he backed off with her, didn't he?
Yeah. Do you know who his ex-wife is in this film?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah, the Blue Opera singer who. They had someone else for that who dropped out, and she came and did this despite her husband having left her for Mila Jovovich on this film. She's quite being a good sport of her, isn't it? But it's
well, it adds some new meaning to the song.
But I think she's just really good, and she knows 4 languages. Apparently, why she can do that so well, that made-up language, and the whole just the setup of it and the way it. It's not like a blueprint of a science fiction film. It's a bit different, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah.
Having Ian Holmes' character keep recurring rather than just get killed off in the first few minutes. Him being an integral part of the film is a.
I like how there's kind of got a bit of a Jedi sort of thing going on there.
Totally, but then he's drunk and he's actually keeps trying to knock off Bruce Willis because he doesn't trust him to save the world and stuff like that.
He's like C-3PO as well. That bit when he falls from the. From one of the compartments on the ship, that looks. I'm sure there's exactly a bit in that, isn't there, with C-3PO falling from them in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. There's I like all the secondary characters, like the military characters are very good. I think.
Oh yeah, that guy's great.
He's fantastic. The general.
And also when they're on the ship and the ball's coming towards them and they're just firing weapons at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there's that admiral guy, and he's like
his eyes getting.
Yeah, and they're just shooting shooting at it, and he's like, what size do we carry in missile? And they just keep on. Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, no, it was great fun. It was fun's a word for it, isn't it? Really, it's just such a great ride. You don't have time to get bored of any of the settings.
And Gary Oldman, he's just.
Yeah, he's good. I not as good as I remembered him being. He was a bit.
I just think now, when I get really truly pissed off. I just imagine that dark, black stuff just dripping down from my from my face.
I love the scene when he's choking on the cherry. Oh, yeah. That is such a fantastic sort of little character moment, isn't it? And with Ian Holm stalking around him and then saving him, and then it's just.
And they add that whole level of that exoticness to it just by having that creature come up out of his desk.
Do you know that he took the part without reading the script because he owed Luc Besson for funding Nil by Mouth? And basically, and when he said in a 2014 interview, someone asked if he liked the film, and he said, "Oh no, I can't bear it."
Yeah, but Gary Oldman is a bit of
probably one of his most exotic bits, though, right?
He's a bit of a twat, isn't he? By all accounts.
No, but I think he gives a really, considering if you think of that, I think he gives a really good performance.
He's good in it. He's good in a lot of things, isn't he? I just think he's not a very nice person.
No, probably not. Sorry, Gary, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Write in.
Let us know. I might have brought that before, actually, I think. But anyway, never mind. So no, good all round, really. And One of a Kind is not anything really like it, is there? It's sort of...
My buddy's in it is one of the, the cops when they're sat
Matt McDonald.
Yeah,
that feature McDonald's is good.
That's good. Cool.
Yeah. Very good. Very a nice one to finish with this week, definitely, because that's the best of these 3 films, without a doubt, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll start the rating this time. I think I'd say number 8. Above Guardians of the Galaxy and below Predator 2.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. Alex?
I'm happy with 8. I was going to say 10, but I'm happy with 8 as well. I think it's important, so I think it should go higher. So yeah. Damn right.
Is that our first consensus?
No, we all agreed about Predator 2, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Scanner Darkly at the bottom.
Yeah.
yeah, that's clearly.
Oh, good. So yeah, number 8. It's not a respectable showing for The Fifth Element.
Have you seen Lucy?
I haven't, no, but I hear it's terrible.
I thought because I went into that thinking, oh, this could be quite good.
Yeah,
it's utter garbage.
I think, as you mentioned on the previous show, like I don't think he's done another good film, has he? There's nothing else.
No. This was a perfect storm. This one.
He made films before that were good, like Leon and.
Which was the biggest?
Oh yeah, Leon's
Big
alright.
Blue.
Yeah.
Big Blue's really good, and Femme Nikita's really good. But he wrote Taken. Full stop. That's all we need to know.
I don't like Femme Nikita at all.
No. Oh,
but anyway,
okay.
no.
Big Blue's good. Have you seen that about free diving? That's good.
No, I haven't seen.
He's got a sci-fi film coming out.
He has, yes. Valerian, is it?
Yeah. And it's the other. You said Morbius, but it's the other guy that was the other production designer. It was him. He's a comic guy, and that's based on his comic. And he said at the time, he approached both of them and said, "I can't make a film of your stuff, but I'll bring you on.
Yeah.
So it's my way of involving you because I can't make your things. I can't afford the rights, but you can be involved." So,
Valerian looks a lot more like in the vein of Fifth Element, doesn't it? I watched the trailer. I think also it's going to bomb terribly, isn't it? I can see it making no money at all.
It could be interesting when we get round to it.
Yeah, no, I want to see it.
Right.
I definitely want to see it. It's out August the 4th, that comes out, so hopefully it'll get a slightly wide release. Probably not. I doubt it'll come up to Matlock, but you'll probably get to see it in London. All right, so that's the end of this week. Bruce Willis, we salute you for one brilliant performance, one good performance, and one awful performance. But he's done so much. We'll probably have a Bruce Willis 2 at some point with Looper and 12 Monkeys and what was this one that we were told about?
Vice.
Vice, yeah. So we'll see you in the future lists, Bruce Willis. But for now, au revoir and yippee-ki-yay and all that.
And what's next week, Sam?
So, next week is perhaps going to be the toughest week yet for us, I'd say. Even for, perhaps not. I think Japan week was tough for Chris. This will be tough for me. What's the film that's coming out, Alex? There's a film...
It's the second or third Divergence film.
Which isn't actually coming out. Did you know that?
Oh. Isn't it?
Oh my God.
Because the previous Divergent did so badly that they've turned this new one into a TV movie, and I don't think it's actually got a release date now anymore.
Oh, so we can do 3 more different films?
No, we've committed to this. It's
so we were doing
Sci-Fi Week, and we're doing it.
Teen Sci-Fi Week, despite them obviously Divergent. Is Insurgent? Is that the same series?
I don't know. Yeah, they're the same thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh yes, it was called Allegiant. What was coming out, and it's now not coming out. But
Detergent.
Detergent. That's the next one. Yeah. So I've never seen any of these 3 films that we've got coming up, and those. Oh, no, we don't say the films, do we? Don't say the films.
No, we're not going to say the films.
So there's a hell of a lot of these films, so it could be anything. But there's your clue. I haven't seen any of them. Have you seen any of them, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen a few teen sci-fi films myself, so I'm looking. I don't know. I'm not that worried about this one.
Yeah,
I just wonder if there's a classic teen sci-fi film. Which
there is a classic one. Which isn't in this list.
Yeah. What is it?
Well, I can't say because I'll be spoiling it. I'll speak to you off air.
Send in your Terry did. Send in your suggestions.
Yes, exactly. If you're a teen and you like those films, let us know what you think we should be watching. But for now, that's it.
Sci-fi film. Sci-fi film.
So we are sciencefictionratingsystem.com. You can see the list there, or contact us there. Do all sorts of stuff. Listen to the episodes.
I went to Cannes Film Festival.
Oh right, yeah, went to Cannes. What happened?
That's all I've got to say.
Just showing off.
And weren't you somewhere else as well?
Yeah, I went to the BAFTAs. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Deary me.
It's more stardust for our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you dropping business cards for Science Fiction Rating System at both these events?
Yeah, I was firing them in all directions.
You weren't there, were you? You should.
Yeah, Sean Bean's now one of our biggest fans.
Who was the biggest science fiction person you met, or actor?
I'm just trying to think, actually. Yeah, John Lithgow was there. He's Third Rock from the Sun, isn't he?
That's good. Well, and Monkey's film that we watched.
Yeah. There's probably others. There's probably plenty of... Oh, Cumberbatch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was he nice?
Yeah. Said hello to him. A few others.
You know, when you meet these people,
just say
how does
hello.
the conversation go? What do you actually do?
Well, actually, there was like a really cool drinks thing afterwards. It was just like out on a patio, and it was really super chilled. It wasn't loud music. It was like free bar.
Yeah.
It was the perfect scenario for just saying hello.
If only you'd asked them their top 3 sci-fi films, we could have reviewed them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or just ask them to be like a guest.
Yeah. Or we could have gone, Cumberbatch. Into Darkness was shite, wasn't it? No, didn't open that one?
No, I didn't. I'm not sure I've seen any of his... Oh, I've seen that one, yeah. I've not seen the Doctor Strange one.
No, normally. I saw the Imitation Game, which was rubbish.
I quite like that. That's one of my favourites, actually.
No.
Well up watching that. It's great. I think Sean Bean was a highlight for me. Because he's proper...
Did he die at the end of it?
Yeah.
Fall off the balcony.
Yeah. I didn't see anyone it can.
Oh. No. Were you working there?
I got home, and then the day after, my mate who stayed there sent me a photo, and he's hugging Karen Allen.
Who's that?
From
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Cool.
And just sent me a photo of him hugging her, Fraulein.
Yeah. Well, there we go. There's our Stardust minute for this week.
Sorry, I couldn't. Give you more, but
no, we want more invites.
I was very dragged.
Invites, don't we, Alex? That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want invites for next time rather than Stardust. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Get the whole science fiction ratings in there.
I need to use all this, actually.
Yeah.
For good. Positively, not just get drunk, say hello, and then leave.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. All right. So sciencefictionratingsystem.com. Check us out there. Twitter at SF Rating System. Instagram at Science Fiction Rating System. The podcast's on iTunes. Like, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, give us a review, do all these things. Social media, # engagement, # content.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Hashtag.
He's got space dementia.
I've got space dementia. # space dementia. I've been up here too long.
That's a good line.
Right. Who are we? Alex?
Oh, I'm a Love Horror, so find me there. So yeah.
Chris?
Thanks.
I'm at Chris Redding, at Chris J Redding on Instagram. You can find me.
And I'm at Wheel the Robot and samdraper.net for the tunes in this show.
Great tunes.
Thanks. Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, nice.
A lot of them come from the soundtrack of Somnus.
A couple do. Not as many as you'd think.
Yeah, available on iTunes.
Yeah, it's true. iTunes. Is the soundtrack on iTunes? Better not be.
No, the film is.
Oh, okay, the film is. Yeah.
I don't get any money for the soundtrack, mate.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't get anything for the film.
Right. Well, on that downer, we all seem to end on a somnus downer. Yeah, we'll see you next week for the preview show for Teen Week. For now, good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Night.